Nebraska has a massive game this Saturday versus undefeated Indiana. The Hoosiers have one of the best offenses in America and also a very good underrated defense. So in today's video, I'm going to go over my key players for Nebraska who needs to step up and show out in order for the Huskers to get this big upset victory. Before we get into it, we have a lot to talk about. Make sure to hit that like button if you're fired up about Saturday. I know I am. And hey, if you're new to the channel or still a returning viewer, make sure to subscribe. I post daily Nebraska football content, and I'm not slowing down anytime soon. So if you're a diehard fan, make sure to subscribe. You will be thanking yourself that you did. But without further ado, let's get into it, going over my key players for Nebraska in order for the Big Red to get this big road victory. What a game. This is likely going to define the rest of Nebraska's season. It's likely going to define how good the Huskers are really. Are they good enough to only win 6-7 games, or are they good enough to potentially compete for the college football playoff to win 9, 10, maybe even 11. We'll talk about that Ohio State game next week. This is a huge game. You need some guys to show up and play well. Let's get to my first key player for the Huskers, Dylan Raiola. This is a no-brainer, okay? We like to believe as Nebraska fans that Dylan Raiola is a top 20 quarterback in college football. We also like to believe that he is the X factor in this offense, that he's the difference between our poor offense last year that only won 5 games to our good offense this year that we want to win 7, 8, 9 games. In order for Dylan Rhule to be that X factor, he needs to have a good performance versus Indiana. You've got to trust him. If you're Marcus Satterfield, put the ball in his hands. This rushing offense has stalled out the last couple weeks. It has struggled. This passing attack, however, has done a lot better. This needs to be a Dylan Rhule breakout game. Again, he is surgical. He's played very well. He works hard. He practices hard. And I expect this to be one of those games where you got to lean in on your quarterback one. You got to trust your receiver core. It's going to be a high-powered offensive type of game. You've got to put up maybe 28, 30 points in order to win. Need to get Dylan Rhule going. He needs to have a breakout game in order for Nebraska to win. If he struggles, it's over. We cannot win this football game because if he struggles, the offense struggles. If the offense struggles, we are going to lose because I'm going to just give you a spoiler alert. We're not holding Indiana's offense to less than 14 points. Just not happening against a really good Hoosiers offense. So Dylan Rhule is that first breakout player, or that first guy who needs to play very well in order for the Huskers to win. That's a no-brainer. Let's get to the defensive side of the football. Ty Robinson needs to have a huge game for the Huskers. You need this defensive line to dominate. Okay, get to the quarterback. Get Curtis O'Rourke on the ground a couple of times. 4 sacks. Get to the running back in the rushing attack. Again, we know that we have the second best rushing defense in America. Continue that trend. Get to the backs. Make their offense one-dimensional. Ty Robinson, he's been balling out time and time again. He needs to have his best game of the season so far. Get to the quarterback. Dominate this offensive line. And then we'll see what happens because I'm going to tell you this. We're not going to shut down Indiana's offense, but we can slow it down. You need guys like Ty Robinson to play well. And there's going to be third downs in this game that are going to be crucial. And India needs to convert. You like to believe that Ty Robinson comes alive on those third downs and make plays when they matter the most. Third key player for Nebraska, Corey Barney. This is a guy who I was disappointed he did not get involved as much as he should have versus Rutgers. He needs to be a vocal part of this offense this Saturday. Jet sweeps, reverses, screens, whatever it takes, get the ball in this young man's hands because he's electric. He's one of the best freshman receivers in the country. You know, he's starting now. At the start of the year, Janiron Bonner was that slot starter. Now, like it's been Barney the last 2 weeks, he needs to get the football. And not only him, but let's get Isaiah Nair going. He's had a slow couple weeks as well. He really popped on the scene versus Colorado versus UTEP. It's been slower the last couple weeks. Get Nair the football, get Banks the football. His passing attack needs to be great. But Corey Barney, he's electric. Get the ball in his hands because anytime he has it, he could take it to the crib. Fourth key player for Nebraska, back to the defense. Let's go to the linebacker core. Mekhi Bayer. I have my eyes on for this black shirt unit. Listen, we know John Bullock's going to ball out in the linebacker core. That's been the way it's been the last couple weeks. I mean, he's been the best player arguably on Nebraska's team. But can Mekhi Bayer do the exact same thing? He's graded out well according to Pro Football Focus, but his inexperience has shown at time, especially in the running game. He's not plugging the holes as good as he should. Sometimes he leaves his assignment in the pass game as well. So hopefully Mekhi Bayer plays well because we need all hands on deck for this defense. And then I also like to see Buda Wright get some more run. He's back. He's healthy. Be interesting to see if he starts, but if he doesn't, I know he's going to get on the field a lot. We need these linebackers to show up alongside John Bullock to slow down this rushing attack and this passing attack because it's a very good Indiana offense. Fifth player, Sear Wright. Again, this is one of the best passing attacks in America. They have one of the best quarterbacks in America. You need your secondary to show up and show out. We know Tommy Hill will likely be back for this game. Yet imagine Sear Wright's going to start alongside him. He needs to have a good game because he's played well versus Rutgers. He's played well versus Illinois. He's played well versus Purdue, but this is the best quarterback he's went up against. He's the best receiver core he's played up against. Sear Wright needs to have a good day. In general, the secondary needs to play well, but I really like that duo with him and Tommy Hill. A couple other guys here I want to get to. Whoever's starting at kicker, I'm assuming it's going to be John Hull. Maybe Tristan Alvano's ready to go. We will see at the time of recording this. It's not certain. Whoever is starting at kicker, you need to show up and show out. Make your kicks because they matter so much in a ball game like this. In a high-powered offensive game like this, every score matters. John Hull, I'm assuming it's going to be him. When you go up out there, whether it's a 25-yard, whether it's a 45-yarder, whether it's a 50-yarder, make it. Okay, and at the exact same time, we need to have good snaps, good holds, and give our kickers the best chance to succeed. That's a big sixth breakout player for Nebraska, X factor, our kicking situation. Last but not least, this isn't a player. Marcus Satterfield has a prove-it game for Nebraska. He needs to have a prove-it game. You need to score 28 points. That's the bare minimum in order to win. Score 28 points or more. How can you do that? Well, number one, you have to have good red zone play calling. The biggest problem I've had with Marcus Satterfield is his play calling inside the 20. It's been really, really bad, and his offense stalls out. Okay, mix bad red zone play calling with bad special teams, you don't score much. Nebraska has one of the worst red zone offenses statistically in America. That can't happen versus Indiana. Again, when you get inside the red zone, you got to score. You got to score touchdowns. So get Raiola the football, give him a chance to succeed. If the running game's not working, go away from it because I trust my quarterback more than I trust his offensive line to block for the rusher. So listen, big game from Marcus Satterfield. You got to score points. This defense is going to do their job. I expect them to play well, but when you play a really good offense like Indiana, they can only do so much. This offense has to do their job. Has to. It's a non-negotiable. Got to score 28 or more points. That's the bare minimum. All right, guys, those are my key players and coaches for the big Nebraska versus Indiana game on Saturday. Let me know down below, what is your key player for the Huskers who needs to show up and show out in order for us to get this victory? Let me know in the comment section. Hey, if you made this far in the video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. And as always, folks, go Big Red, go Rhule, and see you in the next one.